I've been alive for over 31 years. In the eyes of today, that would classify me as an old man. So why did I wait until the last 7 months to release my music publicly? Well, it's because I'm a human being and I have problems as a creative. I have struggles. Two of those problems are perfectionism and performance mentality. In this video, I'm gonna talk about how I overcame and how I'm still overcoming those two problems through the release of my music in the last 7 months, specifically through the release of my very first song, 1,000 Upper Rooms, and the subsequent re-release of that song, 1,000 Upper Rooms Revisited. Hey guys, it's Joseph San Jose. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little more raw. It's hopefully unedited. There might be some cuts here and there in case I completely crash and burn in the recording. But I wanted to take you behind the heart and inside my head as to how I put together these two songs that I've released in the last 7 months and tell you a little story about my heart and what I feel like I can share and connect with other creatives when it comes to overcoming perfectionism and overcoming performance mentality. So the very first I want to talk about is perfectionism. I had a song called 1,000 Upper Rooms that I released January 25th. You can check it out in the link up here. About a year ago, I finally started to put together the work of recording and releasing my own music. And then of course the pandemic hit and everything was delayed a year. And then in December, I led worship for this online conference known as Rise Up. And I had written a song called 1,000 Upper Rooms and I really wanted to share it. So I shared it through the conference and it seemed to impact a lot of people, over 500-600 people watching the conference online. And I realized I had nothing to point people to other than a YouTube video. So I wanted to just hit the studio and record it. Now I had the choice between really putting together a really big, fleshed out, potentially time-consuming version of the song, or just releasing a quick and dirty, imperfect version of the song acoustically. Now, the recording that I made with Timothy Choi, a friend of mine, he helped me track the song, but is by no means imperfect or just dirty. It's just an acoustic, basic version of the song and not necessarily the vision that I wanted for it. But it was through releasing this song that I realized I could take forever to release a perfect version of the song that potentially nobody would appreciate, or I could go ahead and release an imperfect acoustic version of the song that lots of people could appreciate and enjoy. Now again, I'm not making music for my own edification, for my own success, to make a lot of money, or for my own pride. I am making music, if you've been following my YouTube channel, to help people pray. And here I saw an opportunity to help lots of people continue their prayer experience of Rise Up by releasing this song as soon as possible. So in less than a month after the song was unveiled at Rise Up, I released 1,000 Upper Rooms, imperfectly, an acoustic version, and you can listen to it here. That's what I learned, that it's better to just be imperfect and that nothing is ever truly gonna be perfect or completely 100,000,000% finished, and that it's better for you to just release something 80% complete that lots of people can enjoy than 101% complete that nobody can enjoy. Now, the second thing that I'm still struggling with, that I'm starting to overcome, is performance mentality. See, there's a struggle that artists, when you release something, whether it's a painting or a piece of art or music or poetry or writing or a book, that your value and your validation is tied into how well it performs. For Spotify artists, for internet musicians these days, everything is in your streams or your view count or the amount of likes it gets, and as well as your revenue. Now, I had greater expectations for the song. I wanted this song to hit 10,000 streams, which would be the greatest streaming song that I've ever had. 1,000 Upper Rooms, the original release, was just over 8,000. Now, I'm a performance-minded person and I can get really caught up in the streams and all these things. And so a week later, when I looked at my streams this morning and it's just over 200, some part of me was a little bit disappointed. And as I prayed and thought about it this morning, I realized this is a struggle that I must overcome, that my value, my validity, my goodness as a musician isn't tied to the amount of streams I get. What is it tied to? And as I was praying this morning, I was led to the book of Habakkuk in my trusty Bible. And I don't know if you ever read the book of Habakkuk. I know I have a couple times, but I really feel like the Lord was speaking to me through this scripture. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 17. Though the fig tree does not blossom and no fruit is on the vines, though the produce of the olive fails and the fields yield no food, though the flock is cut off from the fold and there is no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will exult in the God of my salvation. God the Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer, and he makes me tread upon the heights. To the leader with stringed instruments. And I really felt like God secured this scripture for me to read this morning I really felt like he spoke to me personally, especially at the end when he says, to the leader, and I consider myself a leader, a worship leader with stringed instruments. I mainly lead on guitar. I felt like God was speaking to my heart. And if you're not an agricultural farm type person who doesn't understand, pastoral analogies and words like this, even if my YouTube video gets 0 views, even if my Spotify song gets less than 300 streams, I will rejoice in the Lord. I will exult in the God of my salvation. God is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer, which means lightness. He makes me move lightly and with freedom and with swiftness and agility, and he makes me tread upon the heights. That is how I'm overcoming the lack of relative worldly success of my songs. Is that the mark of success isn't that I make X amount of streams. Even though it cost me over $1,000 to make this song, I'm gonna need 300,000 streams to make that money back. And the fact that I'm not gonna make my money back, again, isn't that the song is a failure. The reality is if it helps even just one of those people who listen to the songs grow closer to the Lord and be ready for heaven, then that's a win. That's a win for me. And that is, in my books, like a good performance. So that's what I'm overcoming through the process of creating and just having the freedom, just realizing that the point of my creativity isn't to be successful. It isn't to be rich. It isn't to be edified or seen by the masses and to be adulated by the whole world. But it really is for me to be ready for heaven. It's for me to help my family be ready for heaven. And if in some way if it helps you be ready for an eternity in relationship with God in heaven, then that's the point of it all. And overcoming perfectionism and performance mentality through writing and releasing music publicly for people to enjoy and grow closer to God, I feel like the best is yet to come. I feel like my best art, my best writing is gonna come from me overcoming these demons of creativity. So I hope this video helps you. I hope you guys enjoy the songs. So if you haven't already, take a listen to the original song, 1,000 Upper Rooms. Take a listen to the revisited version of the song, 1,000 Upper Rooms Revisited. You can check the links in the comments below, in the description below. And I'd love to know your thoughts. As if you're a creative, if you're a Christian creative, or if you're just a creative of any religious background, how do you deal with perfectionism? How do you deal with performance mentality? And how do you come into a healthy, emotional, spiritual place with your creativity so that you can keep releasing things and just continue to enjoy the process, that you're not crushed by perfectionism and you're not crushed by performance mentality? Thanks so much for watching. God bless you.